Hi, welcome to Monster Comic Book Shop. How may I help you today? Would you like to browse something? We have all sorts of comic books from different countries, independent ones, and also Marvel, DC, and all that. Do you have anything in mind, or are you just checking out? Yeah, you're one? Sure. Let me find it. Just a minute, please. Feature browse while I find it. Where is it? Oh yeah. Batman Year One, right? Yeah, it's a classic. Pretty good. Have you ever read other Batman comics? Yeah. Well, it's a pretty good one to start. Yeah, it's do you see? It's the cover. You can feel the glossy parts of it. It's pretty cool, right? So yeah, and it's Frank Miller. Who else, right? Yeah, he's the one who also did The Dark Knight, which is one of my favorite Batman comic books. So yeah, this one's the Portuguese version, but we do have an English one. So it shows a lot of Batman's backstory, and it's very. You might recognize some of the scenes, like the pearls on Batman's mother and all that stuff. I think it's a pretty good start if you're not that used to Batman comics. If you'd like to get something else, I would probably suggest you either Dark Knight or perhaps The Killing Joke. Yeah, this one's actually on a sale, so this is for $10 only. Yeah, yeah, pretty good price, right? Yeah, sorry. Busy street. I mean, it's really late. People are always in a hurry, right? Would you like to take this one? Yeah, sure. Let me put it here for you. Anything else you would like to browse? Would you like some suggestions? Oh yeah, we have it. I love it, by the way. Here it is. Yeah, it's my favorite game of all time. And it's hard to pick one game, right? So yeah, did you know about this comic book? Yeah, right. I got Ellie's tattoo. This is Ellie's backstory. It shows her while she was, before meeting Joel, and when she met Riley, the character she mentions in the game, and you can also see this is a few weeks before Left Behind. I don't know if you had a chance to play the DLC, but I love the art style on this one. It's just great, and I don't know, it's very sweet, but at the same time, it's a nice contrast. See, it's beautiful, of like cartoony characters on a pretty hardcore apocalyptic world, and yeah, I think it's a great one. I have it myself, so. And yeah, Neil Druckmann helped writing it. I think he was the one who actually wrote the story. So, you know, it's a good quality, and it's from the people who actually made The Last of Us. So yeah, just a good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. I'll put here for you. This is also $10. Yeah, we're having special prices here because it's close to a holiday, so you know, everyone gets happy. So yeah, I'm gonna put it here with Batman. Is there any other comic you would like to see specifically? Would you like me to give you some suggestions? Oh, sure, yeah, of course. Indie comic books or not so well known? Oh, oh great, so you're starting to read something out of Marvel and DC as well. That's great. The very first one I would recommend you, which you probably heard about, it's a classic, and it's so good. So, have you ever heard of Mouse? Mouse is mouse in German. This is why it's written like that. And yeah, it's about, it's not exactly about World War II. So Art Spiegelman, the author, who made both the story and the art, his father, his parents actually are Jews, and he's Jew as well, and they are actual Holocaust survivors. So he made a story. It's like his father's biography somehow, but he's in a book as well, and it's at the same time really sad and really deep, but it portrays the life of a survivor, of a Jewish survivor, and his son, which is the author. So this comic book, it's really great. I love the art style as well. I think it fits so perfectly with the content, with the story. And he portrays Jews as mice, Nazis as cats, and the other Germans that weren't exactly Nazis, or like French people who didn't help the Jews as pigs, like the aristocrats and all. But it's got some very powerful depicting of what happened. So I think it's I don't know, one of my 10 most important comic books. And I'd say that also because Mouse was the first comic book ever to win a Pulitzer Prize. Yeah, this was back in 92 or 94, something like that. I believe 92. So Pulitzer, it's a journalistic prize, and it's a huge importance. And after, this is Hadouken, by the way. It's my cat, and she wanders around the store, and yeah, she just does her stuff, right? Cats. Yep. Probably gonna find some comic books. Well, anyways, after Mouse won its Pulitzer Prize, comic books started to take more importance, because before that, many people thought comics were not art exactly, or perhaps they were for kids, and this kind of thing. Yeah, right. But after Mouse, this graphic novel, got the Pulitzer Prize, we started having a more serious approach on comic books, and especially as art. So this is, I think it's a must read, not only for people who like comic books, but for everyone. Yeah, Hadouken. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll put it here for you. This is $18. Yeah, it's actually pretty thick. So how many pages? Let me see. It's almost 300. It's 296 pages, so it's a pretty thick book. And yeah, I think you can't go wrong with this, especially if you like story and art. So yeah, I recommend that a lot. Yeah, sure. How'd you like it? Okay. Oh yeah, about like everyday life. Oh, I have a great one to show you, and it's actually a pretty nice edition. Let me get it for you. All right, so looks like there's nothing here, right? There's actually a embed something. This is a little less known than Mouse. It's called Asterios Polyp. It's the name of the main character, and you see it's a pretty thick comic book as well. I don't know if you can see the carvings here. It's the characters. Asterios Polyp. So there's this thing called an Eisner Prize. Did you ever hear about Will Eisner? He's a very famous comic book artist as well. Yeah, you heard about him. Okay, cool. So every year we have Eisner Awards about many different comic books, and Asterios Polyp got the Eisner Awards, I guess a few years ago. This comic book's visual narrative is awesome. It's just amazing, and I mean the way he portrays things. This is a book about a guy who's an architect, and he well, it's basically about his life, and he meets this girl and all that stuff, but the way he depicts it, both with how the panels go and how the illustration matches, it's just incredible. One thing that I like a lot is that he's a square-ish. I mean, he's got geometric shapes, very sharp shapes, and I don't know, like he meets other people and they're drawn in other different kinds of shapes, and you know, like his speech balloons are square because he's a square guy. I believe he's an architect, and I mean, like, this is very interesting. So he's always drawn as blue, geometric, and then he meets this girl who's an artist, and she's completely different from him, and even the typing and the balloons and the way she's drawn. And after a while, you know, when they get to meet each other, it's like both of them change the way the balloons speak and they start merging. See, so when they're actually having fun with each other and getting to know each other, it's like both lines merge, which is what happens in a relationship, right? You get a little bit of your partner's traits and character, and vice versa. And I thought this is a comic book that you can read in one go, of course, but it's very deep. And I don't know, it's got a very interesting existentialism and, you know, kind of question, because the character starts questioning his beliefs and who he is. So this is a very adult comic book in a way that it brings, well, deep questions, and I love it so much. It's great. And it ended up becoming one of my favorite comic books. I can identify a lot with Asterios Wallet. It's a great, the characters are greatly written, so this is a really cool one. If you want something different, yeah. This one, let me check the price. This is $29. It's a little more expensive, but yeah, sure. We have plenty of copies here if you want to get it later on, or yeah, I know it's a lot. Sure. See, it's very thick, right? It's really cool. Different kind of a cover. I like when they have alternative formats. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, this one's unfortunately it's like bent. Of course, we have new copies. This is just the one we put here so people can browse it, and it's not for sale. The ones we sell, of course, they're in perfect conditions. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Alright, yeah. And the last one is kind of well, it's not advertising at all, but I am also a comic book writer and illustrator myself. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if you like horror stories, but I do horror comic books about werewolves and vampires, the kind that bleeds, doesn't sparkle at all. Yeah, a lot of it is based on RPGs like White Wolf's RPGs, Vampire the Masquerade, and all that stuff. And we have 3 issues that I did here. Yeah. Yeah, the story, yeah, I have a making of as well. This first issue is about this girl. She's a werewolf, and there's a vampire invasion in their town, and werewolves are very proud and they don't believe it's a threat, but a lot of stuff happens and she ends up being alone and having to find her own way for the first time alone. So this is kind of a metaphor for depression. Yeah, like you have in your inner wolf that sometimes will speak louder than your, well, human self, but you can learn to use it as your own strength because you can survive, and you know. So I try to have a take on that. Yeah. This is $5. Yeah. It's a little smaller. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, sure. I can show you the other ones. Yeah. So this is volume 2. They're all glossy. They have like this part here, the characters and the title. It's got this gloss. I love that kind of shit. There's this other character here and shiny. Yeah, the second one, it's about this guy who's a truck driver, and it's about a character who has the very hard mission of killing the last werewolf of the tribe. So, yeah, this one actually happens 2 years before the first volume. Yeah, so it's like a retrospective, and you get to understand a lot of stuff that happens on the first volume after you read the second one. And of course, the characters are intertwined. So, yeah, I like doing this kind of thing. I like reading this, so I thought, this might be something I will be doing. And the third volume is this one. Yeah, this one was released in December, so it's only 3 months old. And that's my cat. I'm sorry about the noise. Cats, they just do their thing. So in this volume, the truck driver and the werewolf have to gather forces and join strengths to eliminate a vampire gang, like a very hardcore vampire place, and it's got its own members, and they use people as like cattle, and of course it has lots of actions. It's not just horror comics, it's got action as well. And this one, I'm very glad that I did a lot of extras here. So I have the making of the characters and all that stuff. You get to see my production process somehow, like how I do my character design. So it's very fun to do it, and I managed to do it by crowdfunding. This is me, my grumpy face with beer, cause yeah. So I'm very glad that this had a good critiques so far, at least. So yeah, these are $5 each. They're also on sale. Oh yeah, you're gonna take him? That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So, just to make sure, the 3 volumes of Bad Omen comic book. You're taking Mouse. Yeah, it's great. I love this one. You're taking American Dreams, The Last of Us. Still smells very fresh. Cool, right? And Batman Year One. Right, yeah, sure. Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you enjoy your readings. The payment is on the cashier right there, so feel free to browse around if you want something else. And thank you for your visit. Have a good one.